Hey everyone, this is going to be the fourth and final installment of the Tree of Life and Cognition series. The first two videos we spoke about the first two trinities. We're going to speak about the third trinity right now. And again, it's about how your will is coming into the world. So the third trinity is the temporal trinity. It's going to deal with, so eternity, actually, that's a good translation of Netzach. Hod is like thankfulness, but the real idea of Hod is now. Okay, and so you have eternity, which is all time, and then you have now, like the momentary, right? You have the zero and the infinity, right? And this is not only temporal, but I call it temporal because this is really where it comes into human cognition, because we're trapped in time. We're trapped in between the infinitely large and the infinitely small. So the infinitely large is here and the infinitely small. Okay. Now, we think about it a while. Utopian visions are going to be here, an aspect of here, right? So the ideal, right? The infinite ends, right? The ends and the means, okay, is also going to be this on this tree, right? And this is going to be the temporal it's going to be an extension of our ethical side. It's going to be how we bring our ethics into the world, and there's going to be an ethical aspect to this, right? It's basically it's actually really ethical. It's also ethical. This one, it's all ethics. Anyways, but the idea is the ideal, okay? And I've spoken about this. I did a video on abortion, and I'm going to bring the abortion argument back here to deal with the ideal is, and then the now, like the representation of now or the means, right? And we all know about the idea, like don't let the ends justify the means, right? Don't be a horrible person now, just so that you can get to a higher ideal later, right? And you can see how your will can be bypassed in that way, right? You can be like, well, for the ends, I'm going to go through the ends and I'm going to ignore the means. Well, that's bad, right? If you're going to be only, I'm going to focus on only the means, only on the now, right? You're just going to be, you're going to get fat or whatever. You're just going to, you're going to be a glutton and only focus on what's in front of you at this moment and not focus on the future, not focus on the eternity, right? So the same idea, I guess you can put in, environmental concerns as well. Like, let's destroy the planet now. We don't care. Who cares about the future, right? Same idea. And so same thing with abortion. So you get this, like a lot of ethical debates are on the spectrum where, okay, well, ultimately abortion in the infinite future shouldn't exist. There should be no abortion, right? You shouldn't get pregnant by accident, and you shouldn't kill any form of life, and right, that's the eternal ideal, right? And they're right, but they're ignoring the now. They're ignoring the fact that abortions are necessary, and we're not in a perfect world, right? And same thing, the other side, the perfect world, the perfect the now aspect. They're saying, okay, abortions, pro-life. Well, they're ignoring the progress. They're ignoring what they're going to get to. And so your will, in a way, needs to come down and needs to say, okay, I've got a will, I've got this desire, and I've got to rectify this desire. I need to bring it not in the ultimate future, not in eternity, not in this ends, right? Because if I focus only on the ends, I'll burn the world, I'll destroy the world, right? I'll be a totalitarian, right? And so this is even like the problem with, like, if communists, I'm not saying communist is a high ideal, but if communists really wanted to bring balance here, they would say, okay, well, communism is this end. We have to use our means. We have to use the now to get there, right? And so this is what this yesod is, the foundation is. It's balancing between these two aspects of how do we get to the end, right? It's like, okay, well, let's not just focus on here and stay now and not do any progress in life, right? And let's not focus on the end and just sort of totalitarianly bring the ultimate utopia now and force it on people, right? Let's find a way to bring it. Let's find a way for the process to happen in time, right? And so the balance here is going to be, how do we bring our will through time, right? How do we, like, you want to raise a child to be a good person. You can't just sort of totalitarianly give them rules, right? Otherwise it won't last. And you can't just be like, right, you need to grow, you need to raise people, you need to raise the world in a way that it will get to your goal, right? And so obviously, if these are all rectified, right, then you'll have an ethical goal, and you'll have a goal based on creativity and understanding and knowledge, right? And so when you come down to here, you'll have this purely rectified, a pure goal that you really want to bring to the world, but you can't put it all in the eternity trait, right? You can't put it also all in the now trait, right? You can't like just ignore this desire, like you need to figure a way to bring it into the future. So and the same thing, like let's say you want to focus on the now, and in the same way you're going to ignore the future. You're going to just you're just going to be, I guess, more hedonistic. Even is this is the negative effect of this trait, is if you're going to be hedonistic and only focus on your own current pleasures, or even same thing, teach a man to fish, right? This parable, right? So if you just give a guy a fish, right, it's the same thing. This kindness won't have this temporal aspect where, hey, I'm just going to give him the fish, I'm going to give him now, and I'm going to help him now. Well, wait, focus on his future, teach him how to fish, right? And so that's this balance here. And in the end, you bring it down to Malchut, the kingdom, the world, right? So that's basically how to rectify your will, and bring it into the world according to the Kabbalistic tree of life. I'm not saying like this is, obviously do whatever you want, but if you want to actually bring a pure will, a pure desire into the world, you need to balance each one of these levels in order to bring it into the world. And the last level is actually, there's actually like a fourth level here, is this idea of bringing everything that's above down below. It's presenting it in a way that the world is ready to receive it, right? So the world, like the good metaphor I have here is birds of paradise. So you have the male bird of paradise and the female bird of paradise. The male, it's really cool actually. They know how to present themselves. They make a nice area for the female. The female comes, and if she likes the area the male created for them, and she likes the little dance that the male does, then the female will accept the male, right? And so this is the same idea, is that this is the female aspect. This is the world that's ready, wants to accept. The world wants to accept from the worlds above, right? Wants to accept your will, okay? The world wants to accept your will in a way. You can impose your will on the world, but in order to be most effective, you have to, I don't want to say turn on, but make the world want to accept your will. You have to make it make it ready, prepare it to accept this. And so how do you do that? You have to use all of these. You can use all of these arguments, or I don't know how you do it actually. If you figure that out, let me know. But that's basically what this conjunction is. And so the idea is, when these are rectified, if you actually do rectify. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because the world accepts the wills of dictators and accept wills of just horrible people, right? They're able to convince them. But the idea is that if you actually fully rectify your will, then the world should be able to see that and will want it from you. They will desire that will to come into the world. Anyways, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the series. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I'll get back to my regular scheduled programming right after. Anyways, have a good one. Bye.